So I'm having a bit of a leg day today. I'm just going through what's what. That's a Simplex Australian. That's actually this is a stationary motor. It would have been on a lawnmower, and it's on that leg, which is the exact same as that Jap. And Jap was a lawnmower motor as well. We got the Hurricane, which is water cooled. That's got a Blackslin Ray leg on it, so I'm not really sure what the story is with that yet. But yeah, Blackslin Ray. Can't see if I've got. I don't think. No, I don't have any inboards. And then we got the Whiteman Jet. I haven't tested one of them as yet. We got the Clipper leg. So that's supposedly an Australian conversion leg. This one's got the air-cooled exhaust, but it is a silent exhaust, so it went underwater. So it wasn't like the Cheris leg that, there's a Cheris leg that used the exhaust pipe off the lawnmower motor. So imagine that screaming right next to your ear. That's sort of why I love them. Then we got this Britannia leg. That's the same as the Britannias. It's on a Villiers 7F. And then the Clinton leg. And the Clinton leg, I don't really know whether someone had a license to manufacture them or whether they were exported into Australia, or imported into Australia, sorry. Then you got a bunch of West Bends, which are water boys in Australia. In Australia, we ran Hurricane and Trojan engines. In America, I can't bloody think of the name they call it. It always slips me. Anyway, that's sort of the American version of that, and that's the crap that we got. That top was actually an aftermarket part that you could buy as a kit, and I'm assuming it come with the leg, and it would have come with an exhaust. What else have we got? The Trojan motor is only 50cc. So that little thing there, but it would have been better than rowing. There's a Cheris leg, so that's the real POV leg, but it's probably what I would have bought because it's probably all I could afford it. Still can only bloody afford it. And there's another Clipper leg, and that's on a Victor 18. So you got the exact same leg, Victor 18, so it's conversion. With that one's the same thing. It's a silent, what they called a silent exhaust, so it went through the tube, but it is an air-cooled tube. And then that's the same as this one, but it's on a Villiers 7F. So they sort of did whatever they could, I suppose. They're called private brands, and you could just bodge them up together. What else have we got? Back from my trip, what I meant by air-cooled or water-cooled was on the Clipper that doesn't have, it's just an exhaust straight out, or let's go with another one, where are we, this one, this Clipper leg. So that those fins acted as a cooling for the exhaust, but there was no water running through it. Whereas the West Bends, they ran that isn't actually for the motor because it's an air-cooled motor. They would run water back up through the leg to keep it cool, to help keep the motor cool. A Mermaid up there, and that Mermaid leg is identical to another one I've got. Where is it? That's just there, that incomplete one. So it's the same leg as the Mermaid, and I don't actually know what motor that is on top of it. I'll figure that out one day when I can finally get up there. But it's also got it on this one as well. So that's the Mermaid leg, and I'm missing the exhaust. And that one looks pretty good actually. They get a lot of corrosion, the salt water inside them. They get a lot of corrosion and it expands and blows them up. So I might have a donor motor there. I've also got a Rawco. I reckon it's missing the cab plate, or the bottom section. But it's had the different motor. It's supposed to have a Rawco lawnmower engine on it. It's got a Pope rotary valve in it. And then this thing here, look at this. This is someone's bodged this one up. They put a really late model leg onto a Victor utility. They just used a bit of box section, but I bet you caught a lot of fish with it, and it was better than. You got the Victor Jet leg. Not really sure the history behind that, but I know Sunbeam owned Victor at the time, so you wouldn't know where it was manufactured. But it was a dud. It's a terrible motor, but I love them. That Riptide, I still reckon there's going to be ties to overseas, but I'll look into that another time when I've still got to get a couple more models so I can start comparing. But essentially it was all just budget priced motors that we could afford. They were all pretty much lawnmower motors. That Victor 18, that's the same as the Victor 18 there. That Villiers 7F's there. You got the BMS 10, which is the Gold Cheetah. So this Gold Cheetah actually too, it's got, if you look at the leg on that, it's the same as that one up there that's got the Victor motor on it too. All they've done is flip the exhaust around, which you could do quite easily. So that's interesting too, because I'm assuming that leg is, because that's just that Gold Cheetah, like I said, it's a BMS 10 and it's just a lawnmower engine, so it would have been on a conversion leg. Here's one of the fun things about collecting outboards too. You can see the skeg on this is busted off, and it looks like they've just put a bit of tin on it. So you end up with a lot of incomplete and broken motors, but it's just part of the chase really, and especially the water cooled ones. It's really hard to get them where they're not all corroded out. Yeah, well that's it. I'm not an expert. I'm still learning all this stuff. So if you've got anything that I've gotten wrong, please just throw a comment in and help me out learn all this stuff. But it does seem to me that the majority of the stuff was we just bolted it together. I don't think there's too many actual Australian made ones. I know, the Riptide behind me there's supposedly Australian, but let's just see how that comes up. I guess what was the point of recreating the wheel? Like back when they were making these lawnmower engine conversions, or what they call kickers, they already had these modern stuff, like say in America they were way ahead of us, but at least they had something for us. Something's better than nothing.